Salut YouTube, c'est le début de la fin d'Umineko. Petite session maintenant, avant manger. Grosse session après manger pour finir. Je ne suis clairement pas prêt, mais toutes les œuvres majeures de nos vies ont une fin. Et il faut savoir s'en séparer pour le meilleur. Même si je vais avoir un sacré sentiment de vide, il faut savoir avancer. Reprenons. The discussion over Berknastel resounding game were getting passionate at each of the tables. At some point, each table had started competing to see which would solve it first. Bernkastel, haven't Ozenerica arrived yet? They should have been here by now. Wanna make a bet on who arrived first? I can understand Erika being late, but what about Orange? Just what kind of pit did you toss her into the sun? Oh, rude. She's sitting on the sofa sipping tea. Hopefully the sort of tea you drink suits Orange taste. Il y a certaines phrases que je vais pas lire, by the way. Still, it's Erika. This will be a long-awaited reunion. That's right, come to think of it. Can't wait to see how long it takes to her solve Bernkastel's game. This sort of game is what that kid's best at. You probably read it from start to finish 3 times and just say the answer right away. Probably. I look forward to seeing her give the correct answer immediately with that smug look on her face. Come now, this is Erika we're talking about. You probably pull out some twisted logic and say that it was possible for someone other than Battle's family. Good point. In fact, I'd like to hear her proud twisted logic even more than the right answer. Apparently Butter and Beto were looking forward to the reunion with Erika. Still, it's a bit unexpected. What is? You know, it's surprising that you let Orange go this easily. Making sure that Butler and the others couldn't see her face, and Badata sniggered. It's really so surprising. Of course it is. I saw that being you. You torture Butler with one thought puzzle after another before releasing her, and that you'd at least try to give Orange some weird ideas and ever turn the game around in the end. And I thought I knew you better than anyone else in the world. It's so embarrassing that I was wrong. I'm sure it is, but don't worry. You obviously do know me better than anyone else in the world. Ah là là, c'est beau. Oh, she's back, great. So, is she okay? It seemed that she was soaked by the rain, but Kumasawa is bringing her a towel now. When Butler heard this, he breathed a sigh of relief. Then he turned to face Bernkastel, showing her a forced smile, apologizing for still suspecting her just a little. Bernkastel showed no reaction and simply continued to wear a blank expression with a side smile. Osama has returned. I'm back. I play Pokemon Go every day. I play Pokemon Go. Battler, Orange's back. Oh, Orange, I'm glad you're okay. I was worried. She stared at Butler as he dashed towards her with a relieved smile. En fait, moi, il y a un truc qui me terrifie un peu. Dans l'idée, hein. Et que... c'est que peut-être que j'ai pleuré pour rien au chapitre 7. Ce qui serait une bonne chose. Mais apparemment, la vérité, peut-être... Mais en fait, j'ai peur de croire en un potentiel retournement de situation sur ça. Et que je me dise, tiens, non, nique ta mère. Du coup, j'ai pas envie d'être attached, en fait. That Butler... Looks like he thought I had you hanging by chains in a cave or something. No, I didn't think you'd go that far. Oh, I guess having some tea at the house of one of Berknasta's friends. It was delicious. Did it have dried plums or miso in it? Of course not. What is it, Butler? Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. If he said he was lonely because Laser's sister was being so cold, Beto would Laser lost that they must stretch him. After all, Ange was a girl at that age. She might be in a bad mood for reasons a boy like him couldn't understand. Taking note of this and having satisfied himself that Ange was okay, he made to walk away. Butler, Ange is calling for you. Huh? Oh, sorry. I've been trying to get your attention for a while. Don't ignore me. I wasn't really ignoring you. What's going on with you anyway? You've looked like you were in a bad mood for a while now. I imagine Birdcastle gave her something strange to drink and pretended it was just some rare sort of black tea. I have no business with you. Back off for a bit, will you? I want to talk to Onichan alone. Come, I may not look it, but I am the wife of the territory lord. I'm already far close to battle than... Sorry, Beto. Would you mind leaving for just a bit? Oh là là, c'est là où les choses sérieuses. By now, Butler realized that Anjissu was more than just a slight bad mood. Beto puffed out her cheeks as though she wanted to say something more. However, she just laid it out with a sigh and walked away. Is this okay? It is. After all, this game is between me and you, right? I'm the player. You're the game master. No matter how many pieces get between us, in the end, it's still a direct battle between you and me. Well, it's true that I'm the game master, but it's not like I'm fighting against you or anything. This final game was held so you could be invited to the Rock'n Gym of 1986. It's in my place to decide who wins and who loses. There can be no games unless you have foes and allies. Don't try to trick me. What are you talking about all of a sudden? You had me totally fooled. Ooh, wow. At first, I actually thought you'd take me to that day in 1986, but that wasn't true. This all been as far as you created, hasn't it? You're using the sentimental trait to dodge the issue and leave me confused. I'm trying to chase me out into a lonely future with nothing but this cheap happiness as a parting gift. There's just one thing I've been after from the beginning. What happened on Rock'n Shima that day? And the only answer you gave me was this game. Sentimental party of illusions. It's obvious how you're going to try and answer my question now. I want the truth, and you aren't going to give it to me. Ange, listen, you got it wrong. Don't try and trick me. This game is the final fight between me and you. I want the truth of that day, and you're trying to hide it behind an illusion. It's exactly the same. This setup is not different than those fights between you and Beto. I was about to be chased out of the game board with everything still vague and fuzzy because of you. I'm sorry, but I've already figured out that this game is a battle. Don't think you'd trick me so easily anymore. Alors là. What is it you want? There's only one thing I've ever wanted. The truth of Rock'n Gym in 1986. That's all I'm looking for. The truth is sealed within the cat box. It can't be reached by someone outside the cat box like you. Is that why you're trying to trick me with this sentimental illusion? Yes, this is an illusion. However, I wanted you to remember this fun atmosphere, the harmony within your family. It's not about what happened on that island that day. I wanted you to remember the warmth of this family conferences, a warmth you forgot. It's just an illusion you're trying to impose on me. I reject it and deny it completely. There is no truth of 1986. The cat box is empty inside. You're looking for something that doesn't exist. I won't be tricked anymore. The truth of that day does exist. It was written down by the soul survivor and preserved to this very day. But his expression faltered for just an instant and Ange didn't miss it. Ah mais attends, c'était Butler qui parlait là en fait. Ok. Oden-chan has been hiding the book of the single truth from me. Teva, for the first time since your death, I'd like to express my gratitude. Because you wrote down what happened that day, you gave me one chance at learning the truth. Shan, you have to listen to me. Everything I wrote in that diary is nonsense and it doesn't mean... There's no point in trying to deceive me. It's already been proven that the future as the truth of that day. Absurd. How could anyone but battle the game master use the red truth? It's so alright, isn't it? That's it, that's right. The book of the single truth exists in 1998. They won't know the future. Who else could perform the crucial role of confirming its content with the red truth? I heard everything from Burnt Castle. I've been fooled by you long enough. I don't want some sentimental illusion. I want the real truth. And no matter how hard I try to cover up in 1986, I can expose it in 1998. After all, you are the Beatrice of 1986, Anishan, and I'm the Beatrice of 1998. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Faut se calmer, ça part sur les chapeaux de roue. Cyclone Rose, the Brown Orange. The Golden Tree of Gold. Oh, Golden Nocturne. Oh. Just like the Golden Witch Beatrice. Wow, whoa, 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 whoa! What the fuck, man? No witch of the past can defeat the witch of the future. As the clone of gold broke apart and as gold leaves scattered across the room, the final witch who would inherit Beatrice's name in the future appeared. Orange Beatrice? The golden and endless witch. But I'm different. I'm the golden witch of truth. No illusions can stand in my way. Yes, it is the end of an chance boring party. Oh, it's time for my party to start. I've been ready again to liven things up. You rap on Tiva. Huh? Whoa, whoa! When Osh snapped her fingers, she vanished along with a thread of gold butterflies. Replacing her in the middle of the cyclone was a girl wearing a dress bowing modestly. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's pretty rude, you know. Inviting everyone to the party except me. You're Eva, the sole survivor of Okanjima, and the witch of the future, the golden and endless witch from 1986 to 1998. In the world of the future, but little sentimental illusion is more fragile than a flake of snow on the lake. Okay, let's have some fun. Come to remember, all of you. Remember your endless cherry my king. Whenever I held a hand to the heavens, light gathered there and took the form of a bottle. Yes, a bottle. A glass bottle with no label. There was no alcohol inside. Filled within was a fragment that lit off a pale, sinister light. I thought this is bad. We must not smash that bottle. Okay, it's your time. The bottle was slammed against the floor and smashed to pieces. As soon as the fragment within it touched the outsider, it flashed within and burst. At first it seemed that nothing had happened. However, Eva grinned at them before becoming a cloud of butterflies and vanishing. At some point, Burnt Castle might have vanished as well. What did she do? It's probably the fragment she brought back with her from the world of the future. Perhaps we could call it the contents of the cat box in the future. What does all this mean? What? At that moment they heard a thundering roar. Just as I saw large chunks of hail as charging falling everywhere. An earthquake accompanied that noise and the whole mansion creaked. Dust began to fall from the ceiling. At the same time it seemed as though the curtain or covered windows glowed with a pale light. What on earth is going on? Carrie, look outside. What the hell is that? Everyone rushed to the window in response to her voice. Of course Butler and Beata went too. Then they drew the curtain, looked at the scene outside and were staring into silence. Oh, beautiful. Kinzo's words echoes the first impression felt by all who looked out at the scene beyond the window. No, beauty is benign. They always say that beauty is thorny. So everyone found the scene beautiful. They all sensed an impending misfortune from it. Outside the window, countless small objects, pale glowing fragments of crystal, lay strewn about everywhere like fallen hail. Qu'est-ce qu'elle nous a fait? The word fantastical perfectly summed up the scene that lay before them in the glowing rose garden. I saw something move over there. Hey, is there someone over there? Wait, huh? The person just grew out of that glowing fragment. The ancestor of purgatory, battle formation. With the sword of Lucifer, as everyone finally realized that they were being surrounded by danger. Oh, le cauchemar, frère. One by one, the countless fragments shook and burst, and large dark bodies rose up from inside each. They were giants with god heads. One after another, they appeared from the insides of the broken fragments. Those fragments lay all over the Rose Garden in vast numbers and made the ground glow, so that everyone inside was forced to shudder. Why there are sirens? My radar is filled with white. We're yet of being jammed, the vast number of reading it, making a count enemy number impossible. Even though she said this, the glowing rose garden outside the window was being filled with giant goats. The fragments carrying the goats weren't just in the rose garden. They were spread everywhere across the entire island. Not just the rose garden, but the entire area around the mansion was being covered with goats by now. And was to speak. That we are completely surrounded. Here we noticed. What do you know, butler? Only one thing to do with an invited guest. Let's chase them off. More of these people. I'm guessing they're ancient minions, right, Beto? The goats form their whole are probably just imitations of the pieces on this game board. They aren't rich, she's a Leah's minion. She's something worse. I see. So they are manifestations of message bottles. Oh putain. Oh putain. Ho 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 ho. Message bottles? The ones Beto made? Not quite. The fragments are what people in the future have imagined. And those possibilities are hidden within the cat box. Because of that, those outside the box can imagine the inside to be any of an infinite number of things. It would seem those endless delusions are the true form of these creatures. What those coats do to us, I wonder. It doesn't look like they're here to give us a handshake and a pat on the back. These people, those lowlifes making up and passing around stories, imagining the tragedies that might have unfolded around us on this island. They found it so fascinating that they never talked about the truth, that it kept on creating tragedies one after another for their own enjoyment. I see. So they're fragments from the future, imagining the catbox of 1986 however they please. In the world of the future, any unknown interpretation of the cat can and do exist. Unless we deny them, everyone will be able to claim that their own view is the truth, and they will remain on this island. What a fix we're in! Looks like we're surrounded and fighting for our lives. What are they doing? They're eating something. They're eating the roses? The crowd of goats was screaming about and doing something. If you looked closely, you could see them sticking their heads into rose bushes and munching away. And it wasn't just rose bushes. Light pole, the bricks of the flower beds, and even the stone paving itself. They were baiting all of it. Almost all of it was trying to eat up the whole island. No. They aren't just eating. If they aren't eating, what are they doing? This is not eating. They are eroding it, shaving away at the edge. The edges of the game board itself. They're hurting the game board? In the world of the future, everyone believes we were swallowed up by the tragedies today. That's why they won't accept the truth where we enjoy ourselves in peace. The truths of the past are subordinate to the truths of the future. The merciless future flag and jaws of those goats refuse to accept that truth and are eroding it, replacing it with the kind of truth they expect. Damn it. It's our truth. Not for those people in the future who have nothing to do with us anyway to rewrite as they please. Je crois que j'ai juste ne pas lire la narration et juste lire les dialogues entre les persos. Genre de pas finir à 8h du mat quoi. That goat there is looking at us. Silence, don't make a fuss. It's coming this way. Jeremy, this does not look good. This... Wow, they saw one of the newborn goats head slowly towards the nearby window. C'est la merde absolue là. Hein. Oh, this window was made out of special assure me a bulletproof glass. I hope that bulletproof glass will stop that thing. Oh, it's coming, it's running toward us. OMG. La musique de fou. Allow me to speak. No, that this window shall not be breached. The power of corner still from a shield around the glass. The goat was blown back and unable to touch the glass because of this power. That's why it made the heart tremble. I could feel that cloudy even inside. But that tremor had also drawn the attention of the nearby goats. Gertrude! Allow me to speak. Know that this window shall not be breached. Gertrude sealed another window. The goats tried to break in through that one were thrown back. At the same time, they heard the crash of yet another window being smashed. Whoa! Stay back, everyone, stay back! On the first twilight, the six children by the key. Voila! What's rougher than biting flesh for piercing? I'd hate to have a gobble up any more of these. La musique est folle, c'est un Beethoven ou quoi? We repelled them. It is a group prepare for close range combat. Stop. You start firing away and we'll have all the goats coming to join the party. Let's fall back to the second floor. If we can seal the staircase that belly sometimes. Everyone upstairs. Hurry. The goats will tune anything to bits as long as it was near them. C'est vraiment la big merde. Scellez la catbox, vite! Non, le portrait! Battle of the humans have all taken refuge on the second floor. Good, Lano, seal the staircase. Gertrude and Cornelia will handle it. However, they need more time. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for work. Since it's our purgatory right here, let's go, you lowlifes. Tonight is all you can eat. Choose the troops, alter the external tasks. Cancel automatic updates, except not that I'll take no prisoners. As in join for on the 7th district, by the territory lord's order, carry out your duty. I lend a hand. Leon, you're in the way. Go up to the second floor. But Will, leave this to us and go. You have your own job to do. Protect your family. I understand. Everyone stay safe. Ils essayent de protéger leur petite vérité, leur petit paradis. C'est terrible. Lord Butler, Gertrude and Cornelia have finished sealing the other staircase. The large staircase here is the only one that remains. The other staircases are tiny, so they went fast. On the other end, the staircase is huge. Looks like you'll have your hand full boiling time. And Delta spoke as though it was someone else's problem. Lieutenant took a glance at her face to see that she had no intention of lending a hand. Even so, Battle didn't scold her. It was a game between Butler and Ange. Delta was only a theater goer who had been invited. Don't think badly of me. Even at dive I was torn apart by nothingness. Sorry, but I think I'll stick to being an observer. That's what you've always been. Sorry, that's a shame that we can't ask for your help. Nah, she's being nice. Doesn't want to steal a show. Sure, let's call it that. Pussy! See you later. I think I watched it game between you and Burn in the end, till the end. I'll be rooting for you. How'd you munch a popcorn? Of course. I think I'll have some soy sauce butter flavor today. Atler Richie, will you come here for a sec? Should probably see this. Right now? Yes. Let's go. Everyone will counting on you to hold this position. It's not just a crowd, it's a sea. It was no longer a crowd of gods, but an entire sea of them. Just as Workenjima poked out from the ocean, the mansion was now poking out from a sea of goats. People in the future really are amazing. Just how many of them have imagined the tragedy on this island. It's nothing more than the worthless drivel of those outside the cat box. Let's clean this place up. Look over there. It's hard to tell, but look at the shoreline. The shoreline? It's easy to make out the arbor. Look closely. See it? Don't tell me. Yeah, you're probably right. They're eating it. Eating the whole island. Come there and remember, fragments from the future. Only you just chew up all the embellishment, all the illusions, all the fantasy. As if I yelled this in the heavens, hovering about the raging sea, hail fell down with a pale glow. Each was an unleveled bottle with a fragment inside. Là, c'est juste la fin de tous les mondes, là. Ah, c'est compliqué là. La musique est folle, l'OC est dingue, genre. Too bad, but Lacoon. The future wants a tragedy on this island. Even Ange wants the truth. No worry will show up all the embellishments, illusion, and fantasy for you. By now, Butler and the other had to admit it. The future wanted a tragedy. Ouais. Ouais. The past is just such a fragile thing. Even the cat box is being chewed apart. Destroy these people. Are they already so determined to plunge us into tragedy? That's all I wanted to show you. Hope this helps a bit when you're making strategic decisions. Yeah, thanks. No, I feel like crap. Then let's go to the studio next if you don't mind. Goldsmiths want to talk to you. Yep, snap your fingers and another black hole swallowed them up and spat them out in the studio. Oh, whoa, crap, if you're gonna drop me, at least do it on the bed. Grandfather, we're in trouble. There's absolutely nowhere left to go. I know, and even waiting out the storm from here is not an option. Ronald and the others should be able to buy us sometime, but that's all. Been to seek for us of something where we fight. Can we escape? Where to? Is there any way for us to leave the game board? The outside of the game board is beyond the range of our territory. Only a Voyager which could leave. Maybe Burncastle and Lambda Delta could do it. However, there was no way Burncastle will help. Even Lambda Delta has already announced that she would be an observer instead of lending a hand. So there is nowhere left to run. No, there is just one place. Where? The Golden Land. Oh! Oh ho ho! I see. Is that our only option now? Indeed. The Golden Lands is the most impenetrable place on this game board. If we wish to escape, it's that or nothing. This thing are hitting the catbox itself. For all we know, they might start throwing away at the Golden Land itself at any moment. And what should we do, Butler? No point thinking about it. We're retreating. If we take too long to make a decision, even that road will be close to us. Evacuate, everyone. Oh, how can we open the door to the Golden Land? I just have to open it. However, an immense wave of the anti-magic toxins emanating from that crowd of goats. It takes some time to open the door. So I've only got to protect the studio while I'm alive until the door is open. Just have to keep doing what we've been doing. Here, one more problem. The door to the Golden Land cannot be shut unless two people close it from the outside. So from the outside? What do you mean? Yeah. No, there's no need to go trouble of shutting the door. No, it won't be so easy this time. Only you and Beto can fulfill the role of shutting the door. May the territory all in Beto. Yeah, it sounds like the safest choice. Indeed, with just the two of us, we might even be able to protect ourselves. Okay, open the door. Beto waved her back, leaving a golden trail behind as she slides the air vertically. Then the gap of the door to the Golden Land appeared. It looked like nothing more than a thin golden string hanging from the ceiling. If you look closely, you could see that the string was getting thicker very slowly. The door to Golden Land string was opening, but so slowly that you couldn't even tell if you weren't careful. When past the gap, we'll need you to be in our inner line of defense. Yes, there may be goats climbing up the outer walls. Very well, my rifle hungers for some prey. Understood. It'll be fun dropping those things into the abyss. Oh yeah. A giant was sliced at an angle, split into two parts and fell to the floor, showering it with filthy dark blood and guts. Splendidly done. I'll let you take the next one. Countless massive goats which at first their way from rooms and windows all across the mansion wandered about in search of something to chew. Ouais. Ça sent quand même la merde, hein. Around gun barrel replacement, requesting cover from purgatory troops. You run out of ammo and you're nothing but rabbits. Lame. Anton heard that from a bunch of 7 paperweights we can only kill one person at a time, nee? Yeah, keep them coming. Don't let them get bored. Almost filled with massive god corpses, as if in fear of the sight, the gods that came in one after another from the wall, keeping the distance. You're hot, there's no match for us. They are no match for us. I wish that were true. But it seems to be a little more that wishful thinking. What are those guys doing? They are looking at us and whispering to each other. Apparently they have the intelligence to take together and cooperate. They got surrounded them at a distance whispering. Then they nodded at each other after deciding something and the whole group cheered. The enemy is changing his formation. It appears that individuals with greater destructive power are being gathered in the front lines. So what? Let's go. Yes, Anisama. Wait, something's wrong. Kira took aim at one of them, going for its forehead. The other big sisters followed her lead, trying to pierce the vital organs all over the creature's body. However, there was no sound at first flash. The seven sisters of Purgatory were knockback, unable to cause even the smallest wounds. What? What just happened? Those guys are talking about something. The gods kept whispering the same thing over and over as they slowly approached the seven sisters. All of them whispered anonymously. All fantasy is fictional. The seven sisters of Purgatory are illusions, personifying stakes for ceremonial sacrifices. They're actually paperweights, Ah, yeah. This time you'll learn a lesson, goats. The golden bow, the shield through the mob down the wall of God, will shower our bright golden bullets. The Chistu sisters in Paraguay have Maria rabbit dolls at the vessels. Actually rabbit dolls. Maria's imagination, fantasy, fictional beings. Attends, je... Yolole. Donc là, c'est ce moment au chapitre 8 où je comprends que les Chister Sisters, c'est des petits lapins de Maria, quoi. Très bien. Ok. Je pense que je l'ai compris un peu tard. C'est très frontal, hein. Oui, j'avais pas compris. Bah non, j'avais même pas réfléchi, en fait. Mais du coup, ouais. Holograms can be explained by mystery or fantasy is relevant. C'est vrai. Looks like we've got a lot of people who won't accept the existence of magic. And that means no magical attacks will have any effect on them. Does that mean all of our attacks will be completely useless? And does 9 if they don't accept that we exist, our attacks can hurt them, Is that possible? We'll have to test it. Renov stepped forward, stamped on the floor twice, and a red barrier rose up in front of him. D'ailleurs, je disais le fond que pour aller un peu plus vite, histoire de pas finir à 8h du mat tout à l'heure, je vais pas lire quelques narrations, genre. Gagner un peu de temps, quoi. Enfin, je vais pas les lire à voix haute, quoi. One of the creature of magic, a creature of fiction. Genji is Ronov's vessel. He's an imaginary version of Genji. I see, so my attacks will not affect some of them. There was no longer any point in Virgia trying out her magic spear. Now that some of the goats had decided that their existence was fictional, she could no longer hurt them. Even this great demon had great witches as well as level furniture and weapons, were overcome with fear of the crowd that surrounded them, a crowd that will not be affected by any of their attacks. What are we going to do? Ça sent la fin des temps quand même, cette histoire. Hein. We'll keep fighting until the end. You don't have permission to die in battle. Fantasy is all fiction. Fantasy is all fiction. Fantasy is all fiction! Look out! Virginia leapt in front and held several of the seven sisters who had fallen on the bed, so overpowered by the thirsty of the approaching goats. However, even Virginia was a functional creature to these goats. They could shoot through her like cotton candy. Adam quickly. Ronov threw himself at the oncoming goat. Even he would be shooed apart easily. Ronov leapt forward. Even if my magic no longer functions, I'm still the fiercely passionate and loyal man I always was. And furthermore, did you expect that I would simply sit by and watch a lady die? Ronov is fantasy! Ronov is fantasy! OMG. Huh. Ronov knew. He could do less damage than a mosquito bite against those who don't accept his existence. C'est la fin. Ronov is fantasy, a fiction, an illusion. Ronov, stop this run! Hi Ronov. Cannot help but rise to the challenge when I see a lady in a pinch. Bad habit of mine. Ronov grinned and tried to hide off. He had already sacrificed all he had. There was nothing he could do here and now except become a shield to buy time. En fait, il y aura vraiment pas d'happy ending même dans la fiction quoi. Et ça c'est waouh. Réveillez-vous 1998. Réveillez-vous. Ronov is fantasy, it couldn't exist, it couldn't possibly exist. Illusions do not exist, they do not exist. Mais vous êtes où? Il y a 800 bouteilles à la mer. Et on est 8 dans le manoir. Vous êtes où? C'est... Fantasy is all ridiculous. Ridiculous. C'est la fin. Yo, du chinos. T'arrives au bon moment, je crois. Okay. Ronov did something and he stumbled. Non, Ronov, non, le goat, non. Ronov, Sama. What are you doing, Chester? Shoot them. If that's the only thing, we would have done it already. Everyone, please stand back. I should be able to buy you sometimes at the Cerebral Clash. Ronov. Grand héros. Grand héros, grand homme. Il n'y a que 3 Chester parce que la 4ème a été slam contre le mur par Rosa, la grosse pute. Tout est calculé. C'est vraiment du génie ce jeu. Hein. Oh là là. The god did mount, but it did nothing but deprive just one god of his right to the first bite of Ronald's head. Ronov au 7. I won't accept fantasy, won't accept. It's possible to explain everything with mystery. Possible. Fantasy is fake, everything is mystery. Oh, oh, oh. Oh putain. Oh de la Nord. Oh de la Nord, de la Nord. Je t'aime. Je t'aime ma goat, je vais t'épouser même si t'as 6 ans. À ne pas sortir du contexte. C'est un être de fiction. Which of you mentioned mystery? Those Lanos blade work on them? I see if our foes are calling it a mystery. Blood-red longsword in hand, Lanos slowly walked forward. Behind the walk wheel, tapping his back with his black blade. If you don't think this is fantasy, then let's have your theories. I cannot wait to hear your explanations. Ho ho ho! Ho ho ho! There have been a great many close room murder on the game board. Choose whichever you please and we will parry all of your attacks. No, we don't have to defend anything. Indeed, the purpose of a mystery is to offer a challenge. There is no need for us to play defense. Do you get it yet? You're the ones in the hot seat now. Les goats! Les goats! What about the closed room with a chain? First game, second twilight. Les goats contre les goats, oui. Oui. What about the closed room or the chapel? Second game, first twilight. What about the trick or treating ninja? Third game, nine twilight. There was no hand to the blades. Will, faut le dire. Will, faut le dire. Le mec arrive chapitre 7. Il nous sort une perte digne de Lionel Messi en Coupe du Monde. Genre, il est là 2 chapitres, c'est juste le GOAT en fait. On peut le dire, je pense. La scène de Will du Fantasy to Fantasy, c'est le cinéma ultime. Donc comment tu peux être aussi haut dans ma tier list en 2 chapitres en fait? Explique-moi. Parce qu'il va être haut, hein. Désolé, je spoil, hein, mais... And then goats will answer did appear. Someone outside the Shemia family was hiding on the island and... Nox first is forbidden for the culprit to be anyone not mentioned in the early part of the story. There was multiple culprits all walking separately and it just happened to look like a single culprit. Van Dyne's 12. There must be but one true culprit. You may never sing, but that is forbidden. Boring, right? To have a genre like that. Personally, I think mystery should be more flexible. The 10 Nox commandments and the 20 Van Dyne rules are behind the times. The definition of the mystery genre should change with the era. Tch, I know they get a pity. Perhaps we're behind the times. In that case, let's see if you have any theories that can satisfy us. Bam. Cinéma. Cinéma de chez Cinéma. The body of this goat is different from those who have become corpses so easily. They had mystery silence at several closed rooms. It will take several blades to give them a fatal wound. Every battle had left many blades behind. All of them were excitingly sharp. It is a mystery. The goal is to use all your imagination and knowledge to challenges of the riddles head on. Doing so is the greatest pleasure of the mystery genre. So they laugh. Both Phil and Lana laugh. With a smile of admiration at the theories the gods had put everything they had into, they countered with blade from all the closed rooms. The crowd of the gods was no longer an encirclement, but a great weight threatening to swallow the pair up. And yet the pair repelled the enemy without giving an inch. They resisted firmly, cutting through the wave of winning goats, not like an ice-breaking ship knocking a path through a frozen sea. They entered the closed room through a hidden passage that no one else could use and... Now, sir, it is forbidden for hidden passages to exist. After the hidden passage was used, it was well shut and became unusable, so no hidden passages existed at the time of the inspection. Now, say it is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented. They are all fake murders, so no one's actually dead. The old closed room were constructed by the so-called victims. Then hesitated for just an instant. After all this glitched and simple theory managed to get around both Beato's closed room and the Nox commandment. And also nothingness inside the god's massive jaws. Oh la la. No. Van Dyne's 7th. It is forbidden to have a crime without a corpse. En fait, là, les deux ensemble, en fait. Les deux ensemble. Lanor et Will. Ils sont introllables. Ils sont invincibles. I guess even the great Nox forgot to forbid fake murders. There are many splendid mysteries beside murder. Will's blade drew dragon and slashed across the chest, but she only cut through it close, leaving no wound. The 20 wedges don't work on its own. No, I saw it with a long sword, but still, it just cut its close without leaving a mark on its body. Hold this gaunt. I have a theory that doesn't violate Nox and Van Dyne. Nox and Van Dyne are meaningless. All closed room can be explained by a single solution. After all, in an attempt to stop the god from saying any more wooden glamour, it was blade from every closed room, as well as takes from the 10 commandments and the 20 rules, but none of them had any effect. So the gods glanced on massive pits together and raised them up high. After all! Will! With a roar, Will slammed into the giant god with his body. Though its massive bulk went back slightly, Will was still leaping into a death trap. However, if he hadn't done so, he wouldn't have been able to protect Glanor. C'est tellement la fin en fait. En fait, qu'on ait eu cette fin affreuse dans la réalité, j'arrive à le overcome maintenant. Mais on va aussi avoir ça dans la fiction et dans le... Ah vas-y. No happy ending, c'était pour tout en fait. Ils nous laisseront rien en fait. Ils nous laisseront rien et je finirai en pleurs de tristesse parce qu'on nous laissera rien en fait. Je pense que c'est comme ça que ça va se finir hein. On va rien nous laisser je pense. Rien. Pas une miette genre. Let's hear a theory. Come to hear a great theory before I die, it'd be a fitting end for a rite. But only Nox are useless for making theories. Shit. The god's massive and closed on Will like a vice. All the bones in Will's body were creaking. Let's hear your theory. There's no need for a theory. What? After all, making theories for any of Beatrice's game is a waste of time. What do you mean? It isn't an orthodox mystery, that thinking about it is just a waste of time. I won't accept Beatrice's game as a mystery. There are no answers to the tricks. It's all just illusion. Thinking it's just a waste of time? Will's head was lower, so his face couldn't be seen. However, the arm of the god holding him was shaking. The embrace of the slug-sized arm with superhuman strength was being slowly pushed away by Will's shaking arms. Thinking it's just a waste of time? You say that and you call yourself a mystery novel reader? The mystery genre is like chivalry. You fight with the noble rules with purity and with pride in the stunts you've taken. It's worth being a coward if you help me win. Those losing make the whole fight meaningless if you fought with everything you had. It isn't about winning and losing, it's about uploading the will to fight, even if the most dire circumstances. The god's arm was now spread wide, and it looked like Will was not the one pushing it back. Will's face was covered in shadows and couldn't be seen. People like you, who call themselves mystery readers even though they never try to solve mysteries, they're the ones I really can't stand. Mon god, mon god. If you call yourself a mystery reader, you're proud to join in on the battle of wits. If you call yourself a mystery reader, it's about time you realized. Giving up is nothing to brag about. Le monstre. The mystery genre does progress with time, just like the world around it. However, there's one thing that never changes. That is pride. What is a knight proud of? Not victory. He's proud of his courage. Just let him stand up to anyone without fear. We couldn't forgive the kind of coward who could turn tail from a fight and then brag about it. People who come to themselves mystery readers but who have no pride are the only people we just can't stand. They got unable to put up with this anymore, so Will down to the floor. Then he lifted his fist again, the trying to crush Will to pieces this time. Come, you probably will beat me to a pulp, but that'll be no victory for you. We'll destroy your own pride with our own hands. Pointless, pointless. This is no mystery, so why make theories? Thinking it's just a waste of time. C'est idiot là. Her fist like cannonball swinging down towards him was the very last thing Will saw before he shut his eyes. No. No, Will, no. In this game, if you stop thinking. Oh. Ho 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 ho! My G! My G! Will! Damn, if you give, that mean you lose, right? Atlas smashed his face into the goat's mouth and smashed his bounce off the ceiling. Atlas-sama, if you stop thinking, it means you're giving up on the story being a mystery, which means as far as you're concerned, this game is a fantasy. Ho 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 ho! You've stopped thinking you don't deserve to be an actor on the stage. Stop trying to sound smart and go eat some popcorn from the stand or something. Wow, wow, wow. If you surrender to fantasy, that just make you another target, nee. It's the same as acknowledging that we exist. Begin recognition of hostile elements. Mark all target vulnerable to magical attacks in HMDs. Kids who surrender to fantasy get to deal with us. And if you have a theory, we will hear it out. We'll welcome those people with open arms. Out of respect for them, we won't hold anything back. En gros, bah là, c'est bon, ils peuvent bounce back là. Wait, was him that it battles and last time to shine? Well, I'd like to listen to all the favorite theories, both mysteries and fantasy. Season 2 game right now. No matter how much you future fragments try to deny us, there's no time for me to be defeated. A golden wind gathered in battle's end. C'est littéralement golden wind là. Golden butterflies flitted about. I thought the whole room was being swallowed by the golden lands. OMG. La gold trousse qu'on n'a pas vu depuis 3 chapitres. Feel free to challenge Battle's game as a mystery or fantasy. I welcome it, but I'm not gonna let you deny this final game of mine. Feel the shame of your indiscretion of impugning the honor of those who have passed away. No slice of the golden longsword flooded the hall with a sea of golden light. Then the whole group of gods clambering about the hall turned into clouds of gold butterflies and scattered. Even so, only about 100 of them had been wiped out. The still Jeffrey and the other are working on will be finished in a bit. Sherbert, I'll have to ask you to hold on there a little longer. Of course, Lord Battler. Otherwise we wouldn't get the show off. You know you two could try fighting just a little. But we're just the MCs. Passé. Que dire. Que dire. The excessive blunt refusal drew a few strange smiles. I rate that lessened the tension in the room just a bit. Matasama, leave this to us. We won't allow the erosion to proceed any further. And not one of us will be left behind. Of course, we are all precious pieces on the Battle's game board. 7 Sisters of Purgatory, the Chester Sisters Corps, and everyone has nodded forcefully. Yeah, I'm counting on all of you. We'll definitely protect this final game I made for Honge. They're managing to hold their ground down below. The door to the golden end continues to open slowly. It should still take some time now. That's right, we'd better start buying some time ourselves. Oh yeah. Looks like that's it for this game board. As long as there are game master in pieces, the game board can always be laid out again. As long as you have 2 people together, you can create any sort of game. True, we're on nurses, Ange. You'd hide that. That's right, the chapel. What's happened to the chapel? It's still there. The chapel looked like a white building floating in the pitch black sea of goats. Yes, this was strange. There was no way those goats who consumed everything will go out their way to avoid the chapel. That's where Ange is. Outside the chapel was a sea of goats. Very soon the herd around the chapel would be eaten away, and it would probably end up floating on nothingness. The rampage of the goats, as they devoured everything and recited the tragedies they had imagined, was really making a lot of noise. However, none of that reached inside the chapel. Ange finally broke the magic seal on their entrance and stepped inside. C'est vrai qu'elle veut aller voir le book. The barrier was absolute. There it is. A single book tightly locked rested in the altar. It was a hidden diary that Trishamia Eva had continued to write in, even in her later years. The book of the single truth. It was the one feathering her shoulder in the world of 1998. Ça sent la fin. As I approached the altar, I saw that the book of the single truth was wrapped in a strange bending of the light. So let's see that seal of the game master that Burn Castle talked about. The book of the single truth was sealed in something like a crystal. It was a seal made by the game master's authority. This was on a different level than the breakable magic seal on the chapel door. No matter how Ange used her power as a witch of truth, it couldn't be broken by anyone except the game master. Huh. So sorry, Oni-chan. Burn Castle is a game master too. I just need to take this to her and have her break the seal. Will Ange really do as you say? This is my little sister we're talking about, so yeah, probably not. Then what will we do? Looks like we got nothing to go on but brute force. What? At that moment, a fierce impact hit the pair of them. It was flung away and battle was sealed inside the massive crystal that extended up to the heavens. What the hell is this? Butler, what is this? It was a barrier, a massive cage of crystal. Butler was shut inside the crystal cage like a tower, so large that you had to look up to see the top. So I need you to take care of Ange. What will you do? Can you break free from this all by yourself from the inside? Is this a closed room barrier? Who could have? There's only one person who challenged me with a closed room. Looks like our final guest has finally arrived. Oh la 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 la. You don't mean... Go and take care of Ange. I've been waiting for you. While it buried at the depths of Oblivion place? The answer was a love. Yeah, that's right. That love is enough. Looks like you're doing well. It wasn't boring, after all I believed. I'll bet you did. I believe too. Butler flung off the cape of the territory lord. It will only get in the way, and it will be a rude way to welcome his final guest. It was dark depth, or the perfect place to think up mysteries I could fight you with when we met again. So this crystal cage is the ring of our duel. A chain deathmatch with nowhere to run. Now that you mention it, if we're always fighting over a closed room with chains, then let's use that. Make it a real chain deathmatch. I'm prepared, but what about you? I am. I told you, didn't I? I believe too. Oh pétard. Oh putain de merde. Oh putain de merde. C'est la musique des Question Arcs. Je l'ai pas entendu depuis la nuit des temps, OMG. Alors là, c'est costard. Pam for the Erika. Entertain me, Bwadlachon. C'est cinéma, c'est absolu de cinéma, genre, c'est incroyable. Oh! Ils ont ressorti l'OST du fond de la classe. At the same time, they were both sealed inside a closed room locked with a chain. Of course, it was easy to set and unset the chain from the inside. However, stepping into their opponent's chain room would be difficult. They were fighting to the death with two chains closed room at once. There could be no better closed room duel for the two who had battled with theory concerning chain rooms so often. Frederica committed suicide, died in an accident, died of illness, died by some reason other than homicide. It wasn't a suicide, it wasn't an accidental death, it wasn't a death by illness, or he was killed by battle-son. It was a murder committed by slipping poison gas through the crack of the door, by filling the room with water and drowning you, by taking the oxygen out of the room and making you suffocate. There was no poison gas, there was no drowning, there was no death by suffocation. A closed room murder with poison gas, death by drowning, death by glamour, suffocation. Crazy, right? It's funny, isn't it? Good. Sure, my battler committed suicide. He died in an accident. He was killed by an illness. Time for me to test your clothes room. Red truth. Sure, my battler was stabbed to death. Let's say the weapon was a knife stuck right into his back. Good. Nothing beats a classic clothes room. They wanted to trade too. I take the challenge with the red truth. Frederica was stabbed to death. The weapon was a knife stuck right in the back. Interesting. I'll tear your clothes room to bits. What is supposed to be? Butler is busy at the moment. For now, I shall be your opponent. But was the chapel with a closed room barrier. Oh putain. Le double fight de folie. It might be the first time I fought you directly. Oh, is it now? Very well, let's see what you've got. Our butler isn't here at the moment. When he's not around, I sometimes forget to hold back. What a coincidence. I feel the same. I killed you inside the perfect closed room with windows, doors, and all of the metals up until your exit blocked. Okay, I play along with your game, repeat it. Oh la folie, frère. C'est dingue. Oh, la séquence de fou malade. On va save un coup. Oh là là. And then you see, we said so that amongst the world in charge in company's X mystery novel contest, yet another one of the great Hachijo's work will appear under a false name. Of course, we'll then move on with the movie version and the TV drama bundled in. We here at Company X will be honored to accept your manuscript. And I'm getting prize money out of this. But of course, the 10 million yen prize for Company X first mystery novel contest will all go to you. And much more besides. Splendid, you've caught my interest. That's why I've decided not to write up a manuscript for you. What? Madame Hachijo, why? Everything had seemed to be going so smoothly up until then, so this sudden refusal made the people from the publishing company fall over in their sofa. This little scheme of yours is far more interesting than the manuscript I wrote. In that case, I wouldn't be fitting to hand it over to you. It was always a worthless story. I wanted to lure my ignorant readers into loading it, making them feel as though they performed some magnificent reasoning. I was hoping that you genuine enough man will recognize the irony and laugh at your own mistake. It looks like you've taken it seriously. Yes, I can say I'm ashamed of my own failure as a writer. Ah, no, 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 no. Of course not. Please forgive us. Please let us use you. I have no need for money, but some pet food would be nice. Pet food? Oh, for your cat. There was a rumor that you had a cat who liked dirt plums. Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah. Ouais. C'est marrant en vrai quand même. Yes, as you wish. Quickly, let's have a high-quality assortment of dried plums brought in here. I only hit the ones that are packaged separately at 200 yen a piece. Bern Castel l'a dit ça, genre, dès qu'elle pop, genre, elle le dit il y a 150 heures de lecture, elle a dit ça. C'est... Le diable est dans les détails, hein. La vache. At this rate, she'll die of high blood pressure. She snacks on kimchi and spicy miso all the time too. C'est bon, on a compris. On a compris. Pas besoin d'en faire plus. Okay, there must be something wrong with that cat's tongue. The cat married an objection from where it lay on top of the bookshelf. I'm gonna give you this manuscript, but why don't I write up a new one for your company's contest? However, I won't write it under my name. It's estimated that thousands of manuscripts will be sent in for your contest. You managed to pick mine out from the pack, and if you also find it deserving of the prize, then I will be happy to continue our discussion just now. How does that sound? Just the honor for saving your manuscript is more than enough. People truly are amusing, farrowing and cringing all the time. But I've grown weary of this for today. Live now. Meeting with children of men can be also tiring. We're deeply grateful for your kindness in allowing us this meeting. The servant guided the people from the publishing company to the door. In the studio that was now finally quiet, Achijo Toya lay out of sight, slumped down in the sofa and gazed at the ceiling. It is tiring, but the stimulation of talking with a child of man isn't just a bad thing in small doses. It's good for you to talk to people every now and then. You'll go senile if you stay shut in all the time. The black cat leaped from the bookshelf and landed softly on the carpet. Au cas où, t'es genre vraiment, si t'as pas compris avec toutes les insinuations, genre vraiment, on te le donne quoi. And it from silent it twisted and became that of Burn Castle. Indeed, that certainly can be entertaining. Inviting them over now and then may go a long way towards alleviating my boredom. At any rate, I think I will write that manuscript when I feel like it. It sounds like they'll even bring a gift for you. What's all this about pet food? Oh, rude. Well, that's what it is. Here. Achicho picked up a jar from a shelf and then took a dried plum out and threw it into the air. In an instant, Burnt Castle turned back into a black cat, caught in midair and started munching away. Madam Achicho, your guests have departed. A servant knocked on the door before making this announcement. Thank you. Let me know if that one wakes up. As you wish. Would you like some tea? No, I'm going to write for a bit. Please do not disturb me. Yes, ma'am. After waiting for the servant's footsteps to disappear into the distance, Achijo moved to her desk. The desk certainly looked as though it belonged to a great writer with pages of manuscript scattered across it. Even though the century is almost over, you still write with a pen? The black cat spoke as he stored the dried plum apart with his mouse. There that to be written with ink. To me that is an unbreakable rule. So you write it once with ink, then type the whole thing over again with a keyboard. Pretty stupid doing the same thing twice. In that case, why does a child of man draw up a tale in their mind and then spit out the whole thing out against on the keyboard? How foolish of them to do the same thing twice. Look at it that way and you're doing the same thing 3 times. Bon, en fait, elle est complètement schizo, Maria et Sayo, et elle parle à son chat, quoi. C'est marrant, mais... Elle est schise, quoi. It was a good one. Even as a Chijo laughed, her fountain pen was already sliding across the page. Beautiful letters appeared almost as fast and proficiently as a typewriter. Only humans call the creation manuscripts. With a fountain pen and writing paper, she was creating a world. As she did, the hand of the clock would spin around like a top. The light and shadow that came in through the windows changed their angles so fast they might have been the hands of clock themselves. Having trouble? I can draw it as well. Writing a manuscript to please people is truly a pain. After all, I don't usually write for the other people to read. You try writing down whatever it is you're saying on manuscript paper. Burncastle curled upon the sofa, a mocking smile on her face. Normally, whenever Hashijo was writing, Burncastle will never let herself be noticed, much less talk to her. However, Burncastle realized that the other was apparently getting bored with the manuscript, so she yawned and started talking. What is it you're writing, anyway? A tale to give to a child of man. Which child of man? The tale I promised to write for Umineko who once read for me. La game made just for Ange, quoi. Just still writing that. I can't think of anything to write that will give her satisfaction. Looks like how I was giving up yet again. You always promised to write a story, then hit stuck before you finished and gave up. If I had given up, I wouldn't be worrying over it like this. There's only one tale that Ange wanted from the beginning. The tale of the single truth. Ange said she wanted to know what happened that day. No matter how many tales you read distorting the truth, she'll never be satisfied. And yet I do think my tales are far more interesting than the single truth. Ange doesn't want to read an interesting tale. I promised the child of man that I would write a tale for her sake, so I'm writing a tale to please her. No matter how interesting or uninteresting it is. Everything you write is an illusion. Ange doesn't want any of that. Haven't you figured that out yet? The book of the single truth was written by Ushumiya Eva. Hidden amongst the pile of writing paper was Eva's diary. Furthermore, the one who wrote this passed away without revealing it to anyone. Being the humble writer that I am, I would like to respect that. Don't make me laugh. It is coming from the person who entertained himself by taking a tail and tearing out its guts. The truth is interesting. Is that your opinion after tearing apart the guts of so many tails? You might as well say that. With a self-mocking laugh, Achijo set down her fountain pen. I certainly have aged. The first thing age told me was that not knowing is more precious than knowing. That definitely sounds like something an old person would say about albeit. What do you mean? Knowing and not knowing. These two things have a one-way relationship. True. It's possible to switch from not knowing to knowing, but you can't do it the other way around. When I realized that, I saw the noble purity resembling virginity that exists in not knowing. In my attempts to escape boredom, I've torn apart and eaten the guts of as many games and tales as there are stars in the sky. But always my relief from boredom is short-lived. It's also fleeting that I've started to ignore each tale as an individual story. That's right. If you eat a cat, then you only get to enjoy it for one night. But if you let it live, it might start calling you names and getting sarcastic. Indeed, even the annoying way to break into your sweet cupboard or sneak into your bed can be part of the charm. She looked around at the books, covering every square inch of the room, and then softly petted the cat's back. I might have been able to enjoy a single tale much longer and much more deeply. As I've eaten my way through countless tales to escape boredom, I haven't really been eating them. I've just been killing them, and in the end they'll kill me back. But she'll laugh with self-derision. Even in Beatrice's game you tried to tear the guts out. I just wanted to check my answers. I did try to do it in a way that respected Beatrice, the weaver of this tale. Yeah, I think it was pretty well read. As all nonsense people who didn't understand would figure it out. Won't make for a better tale if Ange learns the truth or if she doesn't. To be honest, I don't know anymore. So fully aware that you'll scold me for it, I decided to stop writing the rest of this tale. What do you mean? I won't write it. I will rarely record it. The tale that will show me how Ange waved herself. You're going to do that sort of thing again? After growing tired of 1,000 years of life, I decided that choosing not to know the truth is the more noble path. However, now I think that it isn't fair to force my opinion on Ange, who hasn't lived even 100 years. So you're going to leave it in Ange here? Yes. I will simply record it as it plays out. So leaving it to Ange, and the rest of the tale is pretty much set in stone, right? So it will seem. Let it be so. After all, in the end, a tale that a child of man waves for herself will be more fun than any story I could create. In that case, why don't you lend a hand in Ange's tale? You've already given yourself a role in it, haven't you? So is it my role to bring his tale to its conclusion? Come on, that's no way for someone in the Atos game to talk. It's your job to cheer the guts out of the cat box. MJ Aurora. Jijo chuckled, pushed aside the pile of writing paper, and picked up the book of the single truth. Then she opened the locker drawer. That is what Ange desires. Perhaps this book seal is fated to be broken. Ange will reach the single truth. The single truth will break the seal in the cat box, and everything will then be exposed to the light of day. And so, all of those countless messages, bottled and fragments made up of delightful imaginings, which have been scattered across the ocean of the internet, will fade away like foam on the sea. After all, even that person is surely tired of such fragments. It's about time for that kid's journey to end too. Yes, let us accept this task. As our role demands, let's give the journey an end of the line. At that moment there were sounds of someone in the hallway. The instant someone knocked on the door, Berncastel turned back into a black cat. Madame Achijo, please forgive me for interrupting. It was the voice of Achijo's servant. What is it? If it's a phone call, then tell them I'm busy. Isn't that? Taya-sama has woken up. Thank you. Prepare a light meal. Enough for the two of us. As you wish. Achijo stood up. Then she shut the open drawer and locked it again. Whoa. Inside that drawer lay a glittering golden key. Achijo, un peu cheaté, hein. Même dans le monde réel, en vrai. Cheat T'es partout en fait. Repeat it. The definition of a closed room prevents all varieties of entering and exiting. I refuse. By definition, it's impossible for a closed room murder to take place inside the perfect closed room. The chain might have been repaired after it was destroyed. The door might have been repaired after it was destroyed. The wall might have been repaired after it was destroyed. My closed room doesn't involve anything being repaired. Good. This area is getting fun, but listen. Sorry, but I don't have time to play with you right now. I'm sorry to bet us fellow witch of truth, I can't let you get in Einstein way. Come to think of it, you're a witch of truth too, aren't you? I guess that makes you a sort of mentor to Ange. The single truth, it is the supreme, the ultimate. Only a witch of truth can break down all barriers that stand between her and that truth. Is this single truth of yours very so important? There are a lot of things in this world that aren't worth knowing. How important is 1986 to Ange really? It's important at all. You're probably right. No matter what happened or didn't happen in 1986, I won't change anything for the Ange living in 1998. There is no point in learning the truth. However, there is just one thing that could change. What's that? Oh, she lives! Like a transformer returning into a thighs blade and lashed out of battle over and over. But that's so crazy the blade of his returning and attacked Erika over and over. La musique est folle. Alright, knowing often change how a person lives a life. In that case, I have one hope about a relative. I hope that at the end of my game, Ange finds a better way to live a life. Knowing may change how people live, but not always in a good direction. I have plenty of things in this world that should be more comfortable not knowing. The number of things living in a seat on a train. Those urban legends about nasty stuff in the tap water. The world's full of things you'd better both know. C'est vrai. J'ai pas envie de savoir ce qu'il y a au fond de l'océan, par exemple. The book of the signatures probably can't teach Ange what happened on this island. But what's the point of her knowing that? It just increased the sadness she felt for 12 years. How many more years will it take for her to find happiness as an ordinary girl? How many years will it take for her once to be healed? Ange's desire to find the truth is hurting her, regardless of what her true sexuality is. So her deep wounds were slow to heal, that it began to sow during those 12 years. However, Ange kept picking at the scabs. In her search for the truth, she tore those wounds, herself opening them up once more. It's time for Ange to be free of the sadness of 1986. That's what all of us who sure me I pray for. Who cares about that? The truth is everything. The truth is justice. It's a disease everyone gets at least once, usually in middle school. I just love to find out all those tiring adults are writing. But don't you think it's fun to expose things like that? Yeah, totally. Reading dirty books wouldn't be nearly so fun if you didn't have to do it in secret. Ça marche pas comme ça la Red Truth, la Red Truth. Bah là, now the method you suggest will defeat my closed room. Ange was breathing heavily. The book of the signatures was right before her eyes. She could just defeat Beato, she'd been able to take the book to Burn Castle and then she could read what was inside. Even though the truth of the final family conference on October 4th and 5th of 1986 was right there, the Golden Witch stood in her way. And her anger and hatred spread around inside her head, whipping out the composure necessary to cherry making. La musique est folle, hein. C'est n'importe quoi. Hein. It's about time to give up. I don't even view this as a game between the two of us. You're implying that I could never solve this puzzle? I'm just buying time until battle finishes dealing with Erika. He's the only one who can bring you to your senses. Bring me to my senses? You're the ones making me do this by hiding the single truth. That's why I'm fighting you. It is my right. As a final member of the Ushura family, I have a right to know the truth. Indeed. It is the purpose of this final game. That's right. Without this final game, I wouldn't have been given a chance to reach the truth. At least for that one thing, I'm grateful. But as for what happened in 1986, as for who took your relatives and your family away from you, As a human, your desire to know the truth is quite natural. However, even knowing this, Butler decided that it would be best if you didn't return to 1986. Or that I know what I'm trying to say. He's telling me to look to the future and live instead of being stuck in the past, right? Bien sûr, c'est exactement ça. Correct? As I wanted to use this final game to show you that. In that case, there's no need to keep waiting for my answer. The answer is no, Golden Witch. I died back in 1986. I wandered about like a ghost for 12 years since then. And when Aunt Deba died, I lost my only reason to stick around on this earth as a ghost. That's why I decided to do one last thing before ending my life. And that thing is learning the truth of 1986. Yeah, I got a problem with that? Of course I do, you foolish girl. But if you do reach the truth, you'll die. In that case, I can't let you have it. I must trick you and blind you as much as I can to keep you alive. But I want you to live. Living with the truth is no better than dying. I'm trying to find the truth so I can live. I just admitted that you were searching for the truth so you could die. Yeah, that's right. Then let me rephrase that. I'm trying to find the truth so I can die. I heard of my life when I made my contract with Burn Castle. All I so could learn what happened that day. That single truth with a souvenir I take with me to hell. Muda. You cannot break this closed room. This closed room is perfect. And yet I will kill you in this closed room. She had tried every idea and every bit of nonsense she could think of. However, none of it had any effect on Beto. Oh, that's frustrated with the book of the single truth right before our eyes. Ange beat the lower lips. At first, this was supposed to be a game in which you were given a key. A key that would let you decide your future. Liar. You wanted to hide the truth in the chapel, then make me choose a door that led to some optimistic future. That's not a choice, you're trying to decide for me. Parents have the right to prevent their children from making an unsuitable choice. I'm not a kid. I'm an 18-year-old woman who can think and act for herself. Paul, just a 6-year-old girl who can't think of anything except the past. And whose fault is that? Because of you I've been stuck at a 6-year-old all this time. Now it's time for me to cheer about your illusion covering the truth. Yes, now that I think about it, it's not this chapel that you've looked me inside. It's that day in 1986, for all these years, you've had me locked away in a closed room and I'm all alone and where no one will tell me the truth. And now I'll tear your closed room apart with my own hands. Elle a pas tort, hein. Elle est triste, mais elle a pas tort. Yeah, it's your fault. It's all useless. C'est Butler. I know the trick to your perfect closed room. Repeat it. You murdered me immediately after shooting me into this closed room. I refuse. Of course, you've been killing me for 18 years. Thanks, bitches. If you hadn't reminded me, I wouldn't have figured out the trick. Oh, you're young and you have a long future ahead of you. In fact, you're the Golden Witch who will live in the future, are you not? Then live on in the future. Just how much our past truth is really worth. Don't depend in comparison to the truth of the future, the truth you create yourself. My life is trash. My whole family died, leaving just me behind. That's why I'm going back to them once I've gotten my single truth. If you learn the truth, you'll just have to accept your family's death. Haven't you even thought about living on hoping that by some miracle one of them might have survived? And that someday you might get a chance to see them again? I'm not worried about that. Even the Witch of Miracles couldn't find a fragment like that. In the Great Broken Gym explosion, almost none of the families remain were covered. Some days I hope that this might be a sign that they had escaped in the explosion and survived. That hope gave me strength to live on. However, that hope wasn't strong enough to support me for 12 long years. So even though I wanted to know the truth, I unconsciously averted my eyes. I felt that learning of my family's death for certain would force me to deny the possibility of someone miraculously surviving. But I'm tired of living on with nothing but that impossible hope of a miracle to keep me going. That's why I decided to accept my family's death. I decided to accept the truth no matter what it is. That's why I became a witch of truth. How foolish to be blinded by the truth of the past and unable to see one's own future. Forgive me, Butler. I was not strong enough to guide you so properly. A blazing blue wedge appeared in Ange's hand. It was long, thick, and shaped like a spear. It is the end, Witch of 1986. This closed room is perfect. Therefore I can't get out, as you can lay a finger on me from the outside. Why were you locked me into this room? So you can say you killed me with this simple trick. You shot me in this perfect closed room and made me starve to death. Did you intentionally did this? It's totally fair to say. See the closed room murder with you as a killer. This looked like being overly vague with the cause of death backfired on you. So long, Witch of Illusions. See you in hell. Bon Dieu de bon Dieu. Game set. So this is Anteva's diary, the book of the single truth. Ange picked the book up from when it lay on the altar, sealed in the crystal. You're then by your contract with Burn Castle, you will die. Learning the truth just to die. Ridiculous. That's right. I'm looking for the truth so I can die. At least, let me choose how I go. I'm not an idiot. I know the real me is still floating in that starry sky. Burn Castle acknowledged me as the final Beatrice and invited me on a journey to learn the truth of 1986. I won't be able to return here again. When Burn Castle told me that I would walk off the roof into the black sky, I followed her into the empty air. That was the contract. I wanted two things from Burn Castle. One was for someone from my family to come back. The other was revenge. I wanted to destroy the illusion of the witch that hid the events of that day. I wanted to reach the truth. However, the first of my wishes couldn't come true. After all, even the Witch of Miracles couldn't find the fragments where my family came home. So she wildly questioned me. She told me that I couldn't reach the truth unless I had the courage to end this worthless life. But I lived like a ghost, hoping someone might come back. So she walked out into the open air and I followed her. Yes, now I can understand. When I offered to trade away my life, I made one wish and gave up on another. I wished for revenge against the illusion of hiding the truth. And now I've succeeded in that revenge, defeating the master of that illusion and obtaining the book of the single truth. What I gave up was my naivety, my continuing belief that someone from my family might come back. And now I can accept that my entire family is dead. C'est terrible en vrai, tout est terrible. On n'aura jamais d'happy ending, hein. Elle avait raison, l'autre connasse, hein. C'est... ouais. These cat bugs you're talking about are just naive delusions. Argue that the corpse can live as long as you keep it hidden. What do you mean if you hide the corpse is still dead? You really think you can heal my wounds by saying there's always be watching over me from a cloud like some kind of fairy tale? I'm Ange Beatrice, a witch of truth. I freed myself from that life of ghosts, waiting for a miracle that never happened. I end my life as a noble martyr who's reached the truth. Can't you once come to understand the power of magic, Don Maria Grimoire? Yeah, I understood it. And then I despaired when I realized how powerless it was. And that's what Sunshine is trying to force me to use now, isn't it? If I believe it, if I use magic, then my family will always be by my side. Don't take me for a fool. You think that kind of magic, an illusion, a daydream can heal those 12 years? And how am I supposed to go for decades and decades into the future? Someone come back to me, someone. But no one's coming back. So at least tell me what happened that day. Burn Castle said she'd tell me. Ange, c'est peut-être celle qui nous fait le plus de peine, hein. De tout le jeu, hein. Ah non, bah Sayo, ouais, vas-y, les deux. Les deux, c'est un sacré duo de malheur, quand même, hein. My master, I have the book of the single truth. I take it back to you to give me the truth. For so long I've been prepared to throw away my naive hopes for a miracle. Now tell me the truth of that day. A blinding light part of the chapel. Merde. What? It seems Comrade Ange has completed your task. It looks like you've set up some pathetic seal, but to my master that'd be easier than throwing frozen storyfish. Master said I could play with you until Ange finished your task. I've had enough fun for this reunion, so I think it's time for me to leave. Rika gave an elegant courtesy. Why you talk Ange into looking for a single truth? Your master must know. That truth doesn't mean anything to Ange. Yes, all truths in this world are meaningless. In the end, meaning comes from the mind of each individual humans. Even with the single truth, it can mean different things to different people. The truth has no meaning in itself. There's just one reason why I'm still stuck on the truth despite it all. It's just detective. Good, but Einstein isn't a detective. To her, the truth itself is the finish line, a way to mark the end of her unhappy life. Now she's finally finished the final purification ceremony. She's a one-night witch of truth, focused on learning a certain single truth before she dies. A temporary witch for the short time until she slams against the ground. I won't let Ange die. No matter how tough it gets, she has to live. That's the only thing all of us want. If she lives, all sorts of magic and miracles will be possible. If only you had put your arm around her shoulders and told her that directly, you might not have lost. What do you think? Just by hearing you all, this level of reasoning is possible for Frodo Erika. Leave Ange! He yelled towards the chapel, but Ange probably wasn't even there anymore. Until the yell was swallowed by the empty pitch black sky and the sea of rampaging goats. Comrade Eva, our mission is complete. Après, elle parle comme une personne de l'URSS en 86, quoi. Oh, are we done already? And I was just about to tear the island apart with my own Eva culprit theory. Eva appeared in midair and cackled. Sorry, Battlecon, that I wasn't strong enough. For 12, you protected that kid in my own way. C'était trop triste. I'm grateful. However, she decided this for herself. She's 18 years old now. Don't you think people should decide how to live their own lives? Sorry for being a doting big brother. Later, I'm Lady Brandcastle's piece at the moment. It's time for me to go. I see you later, Comrade Eva. Eva held her palm open and a small pointy blue fragment appeared there. The fragment burst and with a blinding flash of light, Eva vanished. To the same light that had seeped out of the chapel earlier. That's enough for now, I think. Who knows, this might be the last time we meet. Wait, we haven't settled our fight yet. If he could steal the fragment in Erika's hand, he will be able to go where Bernkastel was. The seal surrounding the books of the single truth will probably be melted easily with Bernkastel's power. However, even so, it will take her some time. If he could steal that fragment, he would have a chance at bringing Ange back. What is there to settle? Time's up. However, if you feel like taking one last hit, I'd be happy to oblige. Until I had known that Erika wouldn't be able to resist the challenge, after all, he already knew what her trick was. He'd figured it out just a second ago. Even while he spoke with Erika, he had been thinking about it inside his mind. He would finish her with his last strike and take the fragment. C'est ce que je disais il y a 5 minutes, le. Je disais, Sayo Ange, c'est vraiment le duo de la tristesse, quoi. Le duo de l'horreur, quoi. J'en parlais il y a 5 minutes, j'étais effaré, genre. Let's go, Erika. Just decided. This class should be the last before I go, so go ahead and give me the craziest of your hilarious theories. The closeroom definition stated that the walls, windows, floor, ceiling, and chain were all unbeatable. However, there was no one possibility that I didn't check because it was too ridiculous. And it was whether or not the chain could be set from the outside. Blue Truth, this is the answer to your closed room. The length of the chain. Si c'est juste ça, c'est monumental, genre. What a ridiculous answer. However, if you bluntly assume that a lock made by ungripable chain make a closed room unbeatable, then this truly will be a perfect closed room. The Devil Witch flung from Battlers and plunged straight into Erika's chest. As she winced in pain, her hand shook, and the fragment she held flew into the air. Your closed room's definition stated that the walls, windows, floor, doors, and chain were all unbeatable. However, wasn't there one really ridiculous thing missing? The truth, your closed room had no ceiling, so it was possible to enter by climbing over the wall. Oh mais attends, c'est quoi cette closed room de nulard là? The fragment returned to Erika's hand once more. This exact trick's very equally ridiculous. The mystery nets would have been furious, don't you think? But I disagree. To me, the process of exposing that ridiculousness is ecstasy. That's why I'm Frodo Erika, the detective. I made you figure out the answer a while back, didn't you? Not true. I valued that between the time you let loose your Bluetooth and the time you stretched your hand out to grab the fragment. I've just been buying time since the beginning. Only started resenting a second ago. Rika broke the crystal barrier that surrounded them. Then she flew high up into the sky, looking down to Butler and nothing at him as she gave a final bow. Là, ce qui se passe depuis 2 heures, c'est le mime... je sais pas si vous voyez le mime de Doctor Strange, là, qui va dans l'espace, qui passe dans toutes les dimensions. On est sur un sacré truc, hein. So long, Butler-san. Even if this had been my only time to shine, even if I outlived my usefulness and I'm about to be thrown back into the depth of oblivion, even so I have no regrets. Wait. Did she actually wait just because I told her to? It was a blinding flash. Erika vanished. Ange had retrieved the Book of Signatures and returned to Burn Castle. Butler and the other had no way to leave the game board. Everything had come to an end. C'est terminé. Je crois qu'on est sur la fin là. Mais non, parce que je sais qu'il reste quand même pas mal de temps. Donc il va se passer des trucs. Je perds pas espoir. Pour Ange, au moins pour Ange. A gold butterfly flitted by and Beato appeared. My apologies, Butler. I let Ange get away. I'm sorry too. We've let them escape. It's all over. Butler created this game for Ange. Know that Ange was gone, the game board no longer had any purpose. And even if that hadn't been the case, the game board itself had been shown to beat by the goats, and was not like a single leaf floating on a sea of nothingness. Ouais. La true golden land? OMG. My friend, I believe the door is opening at a quicker pace. Indeed, to my eyes as well, it seemed to be so. Father, is the door open yet? It looks like they're about to break in through the window. For Sama, there is no need for you to fear. A nice and drink for barrier is not easily broken. Very soon it will be big enough for adults to go through too. C'est Undertale, genre, là, ils vont se réfugier dans l'underground et adios, quoi. There's knocking and banging everywhere and... Stay calm and wait. After all, there is nothing else we can do. Even the outer walls of the mansion were covered with goats, and they were plunging their fangs and fists into the wall and windows trying to crush them. With anyone watching, the goats stuck to all the windows in the hallway. Et je pense qu'il est vraiment fan de Umineko. Hein. D'ailleurs, chapitre 5, dans 5 jours, hein. Ça va envoyer. Whenever anyone watching, the group of goats gathered at the top of the big staircase on the other side of the barrier will probably feel a different emotion. Trop hâte. Bah toi t'as trop hâte du chapitre 7, comme ça tu peux tout faire quoi. Par contre le faux, hein, écoute-moi bien, le jour où tu vas faire Deltarune en entier, genre, bah en vrai peut-être l'année prochaine ou dans 2 ans. Je pense dans 2 ans réalistiquement. Je serai là. Sache que je serai là, mais je ne serai là, pas dans le sens où je suivrai le stream, je serai... je ne louperai pas une seconde, genre. Je me souviens que t'as galéré contre El Bailador. Alors Sonar, je sais pas qui t'a dit ça, mais si c'est Kudo, c'est vraiment... c'était vraiment bullshit, et c'est vraiment un sacré... c'est un sacré filou de dire ça, parce que pas du tout. Voilà. Enfin vraiment, il y avait que Kudo et Eno avec moi à ce moment-là. Je peux te dire que j'ai pas du tout galéré contre El Bailador. Hein. C'est quoi ce... C'est quoi cette assumption ridicule là? Je crois que j'ai perdu le fight peut-être 1 ou 2 fois parce que j'avais pas les bons boutons assignés. Tu sais, mes boutons étaient décalés pour taper sur les touches. Mais après, non, pas du tout. Il y a une rediff? Bon, je sais pas du tout. Undertale Yellow, ça date, hein. Je l'ai fait il y a longtemps. Hein. Je sais pas si j'ai une rediff quelque part. Hein. Par contre, si Kudo t'a dit ça, sache que... Je vais aller le voir et je vais lui dire qu'il faut arrêter de dire des conneries. El Bailador, facile. Facile. Le seul boss où vraiment j'ai galéré, où j'ai pris 6 ou 7 heures, c'est le boss final de la génocide. qui est absolument 10 fois plus dur que Sans, je dirais. Sinon, c'est pas dur, quoi. En vrai. Mais le boss final de la génocide de Yellow, il est vraiment hardcore, par contre. Vraiment hardcore de chez hardcore. Mais c'est le seul. En vrai, c'est le seul. Il y en a un autre en génocide qui est un peu chiant, mais ça va, il se passe vite. C'est Roba aussi. Kudomadi, il a pris des heures. C'est Roba... C'est Roba en neutre. Pacifiste. C'est Roba pacifiste. Ouais, il est un peu dur, je crois, c'est Roba pacifiste. Ouais, je crois. Mais en fait, il y a. Désolé du spoil, il y a Seroba Génocide qui est plus dur, quoi. Je crois. De mémoire, hein. Ça fait longtemps que j'ai fait le jeu, hein. Mais Seroba Pacifiste est un peu chiante aussi, je crois. Enfin, tu verras la Génocide, il y a des boss un peu chiants. Et le final est vraiment atroce de chez atroce. Mais tranquille. Vas-y. Bah, la Géno, elle va vite, juste les boss sont durs, quoi. Mais la Géno est pas très longue, hein. Juste, bah, c'est comme la Géno de Undertale, hein. La Géno de Undertale est pas longue, juste, bah, t'as des petits caps sur les boss, genre. La Géno de Undertale, si tu first try Undying the Undying et Sans, elle est vraiment très courte. Bah là, c'est pareil. C'est juste que les boss sont longs à battre, donc bah, tu mets du temps. Je serai là pour le boss en question, sache-le. Mais il faut que je finisse Umineko ce soir, hein. Donc. Et que je me roule en boule dans mon lit après la fin, j'imagine, parce que là, vu comment c'est parti. C'est terrible. Oh, pitiful. When do you refer? The gods in their eagerness to show design on the part have eaten up even the ground they stood on, dropping themselves into nothingness. It had once been a huge entrance hall. Beyond it had been a vast rose garden. There had been so many places to stand upon. However, now holes had been dug everywhere, and nearly everything outside the mansion was completely gone. And Gods was clutching to the few remaining footholds and pillars, still eating away at them. Let it be known that exposing the truth is murder. Why can't human live without killing, I wonder? Throughout their long history, so many have prayed for miracles, but in the end they eat up their own chances at receiving them, eating up the very ground they stand on and falling into the abyss. They saw a goat chewing the same pillar that was holding it up, which unsurprisingly fell into empty blackness along with the goat. Humans are such creatures, fated to live in order to learn. Ah merde, c'est Leon qui a dit ça. If learning means eating away at the same hopes and dreams that... Undertale référence, OMG. That keep you alive. Not all many humans are born just so they can die. We thought that we have to live. However, almost everything that we accomplish in life ends up killing us. Comment ça t'as drop Toji le faux? Bah tu vas me le donner tout de suite quoi. Comment ça? Non mais attends, non mais là y a pas de... Comment ça Toji tu l'as eu où? Non mais attends mais c'est pas possible. Mais tu vas pas le garder en otage, tu vas me l'échanger contre un truc. Hein? On n'est pas des animaux. Hein? Hein, on n'est pas des animaux. Envoie-le-moi. Sois pas un connard. Attends, je regarde ce que j'ai qui pourrait t'intéresser. J'ai Sailor Moon de Sailor Moon. J'ai littéralement Sailor Moon. Ça passe. En vrai. Ah, ça va, il essaie. Ah, vas-y, les négociations avec toi, c'est toujours infernal, frère. Ah, vas-y, attends. J'ai Sailor Moon, je regarde le reste. Oh là là, la négociation de con. Wow! Bah tiens, le faux. Regarde ce qui vient de drop. Wow, au moment où je regardais ma collection, quoi. Je regarde un peu le reste, hein, mais... J'ai du code Geass. Ouais. J'ai Arakawa d'Haruhi Suzumiya. Euh... Après, je pense pas que le reste intéresse. Hein. Bah, pour Sailor Moon. Non mais tu sais quoi, si c'est juste une carte contre une carte, ce qui se passe, c'est que tu mets le... Tu regardes juste le truc de la carte. Attends. Bah, tu sais quoi, au pire, je vais le faire. Tu regardes juste le numéro de la carte, là, V, machin. Et tu fais K give avec le nom de la carte, et moi je te give Sailor Moon, quoi. Globalement. C'est ça qu'on fait. Bon, allez, attends, il est où Sailor Moon? Alors là, tu vois, je te fais K give. Je mets le numéro de la carte. Quoi? C'est pas K give? Ah, je suis complètement con. Fallait que je mette ton pseudo. Voilà, donc là, tu cliques sur le... Voilà. Et après, tu fais pareil. Tu fais slash give. Tu fais slash give, arrobase mon pseudo dans le case pseudo, et numéro de la carte. Et tu me donnes mon toji. Et on est très content. Voilà. Et on est en bon terme. En gros. Ah. Mec Kagive. Mec Kagive. Là, c'est. Tu vois, tu recopies quoi. Au pire. Ça doit être ça. Voilà. Oh putain, il est beau le toji en plus. Aïe aïe aïe. Il est beau. Ah, je suis heureux là. Ah, c'est le toji sous dépression peignoir en plus là. Mama. Guapa. Après, faut que tu... Là, j'ai accepté, faut que tu rappuies. Faut que tu rappuies, là j'ai accepté, faut que tu rappuies sur valider et c'est bon. Voilà, nickel, merci beaucoup. Ah, je suis l'homme le plus heureux là. Bel échange, bravo, merci. Belle conclusion. J'ai vu Sailor Moon. Au moment où on discute de ça, je me tape un rôle avec Amakusa. Elle est belle la carte d'Amakusa en plus. Après Amakusa, c'est pas le perso le plus fou à avoir du jeu, mais j'ai changé Amakusa contre Jess, contre Jessie en mode Tsurupetan. J'ai Featherin, cela dit. Attends, elle est où juste, je voulais revoir la carte de Featherin parce que dans ma tête, elle a pas la tête de Featherin, genre. Umineko, Featherin, Augustus, Aurora. Tu sais que je l'ai eu super tôt, ça. Hein. Ah, je sais plus comment on fait. Attends, faut que j'aille voir les commandes. Faut que j'aille voir ma Phaserine à quoi elle ressemble. Ah, KV. Voilà. Putain, elle est magnifique. Ah mais je la reconnaissais pas du tout sur la carte, je savais pas qui c'était. Putain, la Phaserine, comment elle est belle, genre. Ça c'est magnifique ça. Mais je l'ai eu, genre, j'étais au chapitre 3 quand je l'ai eu, je crois. J'ai pas Kairi par contre, je crois pas. Attends, je regarde, je regarde un peu, je fais le tour là, mais... Je crois que c'est toi qui as Kairi, non? Ou alors je dis de la merde. Attends, je regarde. J'ai pas Kairi, je crois. Hein. Carte owned by Kalas. Ah bon? Où ça? Mais attends, mais je crois que je l'ai pas. Hein. Je fais The Ring, j'ai Captain Kawabata, bon. Ah si, j'ai Kairi, c'est bon, elle est là. Alors, fais voir la carte. Oh putain, eh. Il y a un bout de... Il y a une couette de hanche sur la droite. Une mère aimante, ouais, ça doit être ça. Calu, ange ou chien. Ouais, c'est bon, je peux commencer à regarder, je pense, les éditions de cartes, je pense. Waouh. J'ai pas regardé ange. Wow. Attends, mais il y a des artworks de jamais vus dans l'histoire, là. Bon, écoute. Les éditions de... Les trucs de l'anime ont aucune gueule, genre. Ça ressemble à rien, je trouve. Oh, c'est trop nul. Il y a des très belles illus, par contre. Il y en a une où elle est en tenue de sorcière, là. Mama. Was living with knowledge and living in ignorance of the benefits as well as their shortcomings. You're even free to choose which path you take. That's what makes human powerless. What people can learn, they cannot unlearn. And so the all-knowing God that stepped it for the sake of humans who cannot unlearn, marking out things that should be learned and things that should not be learned. Too much curiosity can kill your hopes and dreams. Humans are pitiable beings who are unable to simply avoid the things which should not be learned. Now Butler can hardly be blamed for failing to teach Ange this. And now Ange gone. This game is over. Struck down by his word, everyone fell silent. Ouais, c'est... Après, c'est bien, on a vu les cartes et tout, ça me fait oublier qu'on est sur la fin du monde, là. Putain, il y a Shannon. C'est marrant qu'il y ait un easter egg et qu'il y ait canon, quoi. Magnifique. Bah non, on a que la version Shannon de Shannon, du coup. Oh là! Pourquoi il y a une Shannon en beach épisode, là? Édition 3, là. Hep, hep, hep. Putain, ça veut dire que là, d'ici la fin, on va avoir un bitch épisode. OMG. On va y avoir droit. Mais là, l'édition 3, c'est Golden Party Beach. OMG, j'ai hâte d'y arriver. Hein. J'y crois un peu. In case we must stay alive. For humans, foolishness makes them throw away their own hopes and dreams in the end. Then I want to believe in those things until the last second. The resolve is impressive. I'm the one hope about Beatrice of a million worlds. So even at times like this, I have to be everyone's hope. I'm not giving up on this game yet. By which you mean? I keep waiting, believing in a miracle until the last second. So I will keep struggling on and on until it's all over? That's right. After all, last time when we were surrounded by that pack of terrifying cats, we were prepared for death, weren't we? But Lambda Delta Sun saved us. If we had given up, if he had done the strange to believe in a miracle, then I'm sure he wouldn't have been erased before help could come. Well, it's not like I really saved you. More like Byrne just failed to kill you properly. Or it might have been some whims of hers. A miraculous whim from the Witch of Miracles. How long had she been there? Delta was leaning on the handrail of the staircase. Elle est là! Bah attends, elle est partie! Eating popcorn. C'est toi, c'était là. Hein. Est-ce que je peux dire sous-côté? Ou pas? Sous-côté de fou. Je l'adore. Surtout là. On dirait un professeur Layton, un peu. Battlecon told us. He said Anshan made a contract by which she will learn the truth in exchange for her own life. Like my conversation just now, that was no contract. After all, living and seeking the truth so they can die is what humans do anyway, right? In other words, Anja spent all her life trying to learn the truth. Attends, mais ça veut dire que concrètement, là, demain, je vais voir Burncastle et je lui dis je veux la vérité sur le 11 septembre. Est-ce que c'est la CIA? Et elle peut me répondre, genre. All Burn did was shorten her time to a single instant. When Anshan lost her hopes and dreams, she stopped valuing her own life. How can she be given hopes and dreams again? What can be done to help her find a reason for living? Are you asking me? I'm paper, right? Double twisted curly super paper. I don't understand complicated stuff. Rin wasn't really pushing that kid to do something she didn't want. She was giving Ange a chance. Or should I call it a choice? Then Ange made the choice she wanted, appeared on the game board, and now, in her game against Battlers, she's making her own choices again. From start to finish, Ange's game has always belonged to Ange. Right now I'm just a casual observer. So I'm not a particularly enthusiastic observer. Maybe it's a play with an obvious ending. So I've decided I might as well take my leave. You mean you'll stop watching you play just because you think you know all the plans? Even though it might reach a climax you didn't expect? On the Delta licked her salty fingers. Alors, objection, ça peut pas être ses salty fingers, puisqu'elle a des gants. Voilà. Moi j'ai l'impression qu'on se fout de notre gueule là. I know that Ange's game won't end this way. I know Battle's feeling will reach her. She'll understand that he wants her to live in a better future, and she'll choose that future of her own accord. I'm certain that's how this tale will end. Huh. Are you talking to me, the witch of certainty, and saying that the outcome is certain? That's right, I guarantee it. Anshan's game won't end like this, so please don't leave your seat. We won't leave either. There must be something we can do, and that will surely lead her to a better future. This tale will definitely have a happy ending. So keep watching until the end. Leon! La goat! La goat! Mais elle et Will, hein, je veux un spin-off avec juste elle et Will. Genre... Ah, ça s'appelle le chapitre 7, vous me direz, mais... Juste un spin-off où ils résolvent des énigmes ensemble. Heureux, quoi. On sait toujours pas si c'est un mec ou une meuf, Leon, hein. On a toujours pas l'info, donc... Elle est où? Elle est nulle part. Ouais, elle a pas le droit d'être dans les persos, quoi. Super. T'as voir comment tu vois Shannon. Ah, c'est comme Frisk dans Undertale, en fait. C'est interprétation du joueur. Undertale a tout volé. Bon, ça va, hein. Undertale s'est inspiré par Mother, pas par Umineko. Attends, tout le monde le sait. Humans have already announced at the Witch of Session that this tale won't have a happy ending. The mention of a happy ending is something everyone watching gets to decide for themselves, right? For a while there was a tense silence. It was a confident gaze that seemed to be saying, "Are you serious?" Lambda Delta stared at Leon. However, Leon's eyes didn't even twitch. For some time they both stared into the other's eyes without flinching. Ah, suddenly Lambda Delta let out a large sigh and stretched. Well, I have nowhere better to be. Sure, I'll stick around a bit longer. You get me some more popcorn, that is. I'm feeling like caramel flavor this time. You come to the Golden and we'll serve you as much as you like. La-da-da-da-da. Okay. If you guarantee your own flavor, your happy ending with certainty, then I, the great Lambda Delta, will stick around for a while longer. See how big my heart is. As wide as Lake Biwa. Parce que c'est... That's pretty thin, actually. Will. Mais c'est le goat, ce mec, hein. And as gentle as the Sea of Japan. That is a very rough sea. En fait, c'est tous des goats, en fait. C'est tout. There's always to speak. It was him she meant it the other way around. There was some muffled laughter. And the Delta is the witch who gives syringe to those who possess uncheckable willpower. Leon believed in a happy ending, and that such an enthusiast might have been enough to earn a small miracle for Lambda. You'd better not let me get bored, okay? If you do, I'll leave right away. Of course, I'm sure Battlecon will be glad to welcome you as well. Leon! Understood. In order to fight back against Berknostel, who have taken Ange outside the board, they will need to power another was capable of leading the board. Their last hope was to make sure Lambda Delta didn't abandon this game. Et tu me disais, Leon, ça dépend comment tu vois Shannon, mais pour moi, Shannon, c'est une... je pense c'est une femme, parce que la personnalité de Shannon arrive en premier avant Canon et Béatrice. Après, il se peut que l'accident, entre guillemets, où Natsu il la pousse, et où elle est gravement malade, machin, peut la faire, je sais pas... se dire que c'est un espèce d'hybride bizarre, hein, je sais pas. Ça peut être un homme qui a perdu ses genitals dans l'accident, aussi. Et qui a commencé à vivre comme une fille, du coup. Ça peut être ça. Après, j'ai envie de... That is incapable of love. En mode qui est incapable de procréer. Oui, c'est vrai. Ouais, ok. Ah non! Ça voudrait dire qu'elle est née mec et qu'elle a vraiment perdu ses genitals. Et que du coup, elle a rien, en fait. C'est une poupée Barbie, quoi. En fait. Je pense. Parce qu'incapable of love, ça veut dire que tu n'as rien, du coup. C'est même pas incapable of, faire un bébé ou quoi, c'est incapable of faire quoi que ce soit, quoi. Donc c'est, je pense, un homme qui a perdu ses... qui a perdu sa bitasse, quoi. Yoma termine. Et donc il s'en faut. Ça veut dire que, dans un monde où il n'y a pas eu l'accident, Leon est un mec. Du coup. En fait. Je pense, du coup. Ça fait sens. Je pense, du coup, hein. C'est vrai qu'elle dit The Man, c'est vrai. C'est vrai que ça a toujours été The Man, ouais. Donc, ouais. C'est vrai. Non, bah du coup, c'est un homme qui, du coup, dans l'accident, a sûrement perdu ses genitals et ne peut pas aimer, entre guillemets, quoi. Après, il y a des opérations aujourd'hui pour... Non, elle est peut-être tellement pas qu'elle a jamais check. Ouah, je pense pas. Elle serait pas aussi précise en disant The Man, du coup. Je pense qu'elle dirait The Baby of 19 Years Ago. Vu qu'elle l'a connu en tant que bébé, tu vois, je pense. Si elle savait vraiment pas. Et en plus, si elle dit The Man, c'est que la voix au téléphone est masculine. Mais après, c'est Lambda qui lui joue un tour à ce moment-là, donc c'est pas vraiment accurate, je pense. Bah bref. On verra. Look, Zepar, everything from the first floor down and gone. What a spectacle. Not a sight you see every day. Oh, I've matters progress upstairs. Alright, we came here to tell you that. Everyone, sorry to keep you waiting. They say the door to Golden Land is all planned. Finally, let us go. This place will not be safe for long. Everyone who had been sitting on the staircase got up. I guess this is goodbye, Rokanjima the Beautiful. True. Maybe a shadow of its former self, but it is the last time we'll see it, isn't it? Rokanjima 07. Forever in my heart. What is this gloomy attitude? Come on, show me, okay? Let's see a happy ending. Parfait pour m'arrêter pour aller bouffer ça. Oh la happy ending qui arrive. J'espère. Après toutes ces souffrances, une petite happy ending, s'il vous plaît. Juste ça. Le petit miracle. Miracle de Noël. Miracle de Leon. On reprendra là-dessus. Après manger. Bisous YouTube, à tout à l'heure pour la fin du jeu, littéralement. Je pense que ce sera une session un peu longue, hein. Mais bon. Je me suis préparé à ça. Donc à tout à l'heure pour la dernière VOD. Fort malheureusement. À toutes.